and I was invited by the newly created Long Beach Cat 911, Andrea Smith, and the members to help to lead the wellness seminars that you're having. And I'm so excited to be with you. Um, can you go up to the first slide, Andrea? Thank you all for joining us. We're so happy to have you here. Um, and thank you for taking really good care of yourselves in terms of just even showing up. Um, the the title for the seminar today is called Self-Care is Community Care: Benefits of Crystal, Singing Bowl, and Sound Healing Arts. And if there's anyone who is present who knows about this healing art or has had some experience, and wants to share their own experience, I welcome that. Please feel free to do so. Next slide, please. I wanted to begin us um, with a land acknowledgement, um, and also acknowledgement of our ancestors. I am coming to you from Tongva land, Long Beach. I want to give honor and tribute to those earth stewards, those indigenous earth stewards who held this land uh, for many, many years and continue to do so, and their lessons that we're returning to and learning from right now. And so we give them honor for their work, for their wisdom, as we go about this new day, as we trudge into a new year. Um, and I would also like us to um, give honor to the four directions, all of the elements that we can consider our allies in this journey, um, amidst COVID, amidst uh, uprising, and anything else that we are dealing with. We can look to our plant friends, the ocean, um, using the fire element and the air as our allies. And we certainly need all the help that we can get. I would also like to um, begin by honoring the ancestors, those folks who have whose shoulders we stand upon, whose um, medicine I am using. I feel honored to that it was passed down to me, whose fights we've taken up ourselves. Um, those ancestors, those new ancestors who's um, made sacrifice for us, for our communities, and we're making meaning of their sacrifice. Maybe we lost them to state violence. Maybe we lost them to COVID. I would like to honor them by having you unmute and call in, call them in, name them, or you can write them in the chat. Um, it is important for us to know that we do this honoring of our ancestors, as my teacher, Queen Howland, says, not only to remember them, but to activate them as well. And by activate, I mean now that they have crossed over, they're another ally that we can count in our fight for justice, in our, and we can call upon them. This is one of the teachings about the mind, body, and the spirit, is connecting to um, our spiritual powers, knowing all that we need. And so at this time, I'm going to use the water element and just call upon those as ancestors. I'm going to call in my grandmother, Willie Mae. Please feel free to write in the chat ancestors that you would like to be present in this moment. Audrey Lord, Ashe. And when we call those names in, we say Ashe, or so it is, or Amen. Stacy Milborn Park, Kanai Takatani, my mother, Ashe, Ashe. Any other ancestors? Stacy Milborn Park, my mother and grandmother, Ashe. I'm gonna call in Ella Baker to the space. I would like to call in Grace Lee Boggs to the space. I would like to call in Fannie Lou Hamer to the space. I would like to call in all of those uh, people that we lost in our California state prisons to COVID. I would like to call them in to our space. Ashe. We're calling in Ana Maria Lopez, Cyril Martinez, Carl Hendricks, Junia Hendricks. Ashe. And so we thank them for showing up with us tonight. And again, we call them in not only to remember them and remember the lessons from their lives, but also to activate them. And we do this by lighting a candle and sitting with that candle and thinking and reflecting upon them when we need. Thank you, everyone. Okay. Shea, Shea, Shea. Next slide, please. So I wanted to talk about community care and self-care and how those work together. I know that our audience here is involved in tremendous amount of community care. And I wanted to talk about that relationship a little bit. And as we can see, this is a photo taken from a mutual aid effort. Um, and, uh, and we are filling the holes that our government systems have um, uh, uh, left us with. And I want to go to the next slide. So it's the idea that we can perform that community care um, is wonderful, but if we're not taking care of self, if we're not showing up for ourselves, then the type of work that we're doing suffers. And so I think we're ahead of that here as you're having wellness seminars. And that's something that I think is amazing. It's not I don't know that wellness and self-care and healing was a huge part of the vocabulary. Um, but right now it is showing up in wonderful spaces. And so I wanted to, I'm really excited to be a part of this visioning around integrating the organizing work along with the self care work. Next slide. So I wanted to just have us take your inventory right now. How are you feeling? And I do this throughout the day. That is um, to ask myself, where am I? You know, if you are like me, this is the end of the year. There's so much to be done. There are multiple meetings to go to, so many things to wrap up before uh, December, not even December 31st, December 15th for a lot of folks. There's families that we're trying to attend to. If you celebrate the holidays, it's what are the responsibilities for going out and buying gifts. Um, and so each day, are we asking ourselves these questions? How how did you wake up this morning? Did you eat a balanced meal? Did you drink your water? I almost forgot to bring my water. Um, were you able to exercise at all today? Um, was there any quiet time for reflection? And then what do you need to feel grounded? Um, and so I wanted to just maybe get a couple of responses really quick. How are you right now? How are you showing up in this chat? Um, how are you showing up to this meeting? Did you eat dinner? I noticed it was 6 o'clock. Some people eat around this time. Send me a couple of responses. I had a pink berry feeling so awesome. All right. What else? Yeah, pink berries are good. It's a good alternative to like heavy cream ice cream. I was running errands all day, finally getting grounded. Medora, are you using this session to get grounded?
Yeah. Yes.
Excellent. And yes, please feel free to unmute. Going to eat after this, but munching a little. That's self care. That's wonderful, Roberta. She's saying, nope, I brought a little snack because I knew I was going to be hungry. Okay, and one of the things that I was also taught, and we're just to give you an overview, I'm gonna go through a few more slides, and then I'll talk about I'll get to your sound healing. Is for us to just take stock physically. Um, some people are saying they do feel grounded. They're finally getting grounded, and one of my teachers asks sometimes when we enter sessions like how what percent are you in your body right now, meaning you know what's taking up all that space. Is it oh, I don't have childcare, I only have childcare for this 45 minutes and then I have to move on to the next thing. um, or are you thinking about the next meeting that you have to go to? But how present are you right now? um, Crystal's writing that they had to cancel a trip because of the COVID scare, but took the day off of work to take care of myself. This webinar is helping. Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad to hear that. Anytime that we can carve, not carve, I was going to say carve time out for ourselves. And it really is carving. It's like sometimes it's chiseling, it's taking a hammer. It's like you're fighting so many other things to just do something for yourself. I think that what we find is that the rest of our families, the rest of our work, people we interact with, our relationship, it should go a little bit smoother. Sometimes that's not the case. Um, I'm a bit scared. It's always hard to stop my mind from racing, but this is calming me. Wonderful. Well, sound healing is will be a great benefit to you because that's one of the great things about it is that it interacts with our neural systems and provides an amazing sense of calm. And so I'm so excited to get to that. I want to run through these slides. Next slide, please. Thank you everyone for sharing. We need to learn a new way to be with one another as a part of the work we do to uplift humanity. I put that quote in there, and it's by Erica Huggins, who was a Black Panther. I put that in there because it's significant that she did all that amazing work in starting breakfast, uh, free breakfasts, and community clinics and all the work that she did. And she is one of those persons here in California who is still here, still working with the movement and practicing self-care. And she did then and she does now. And she talks about meditation. She talks about the mind, body, and the spirit. And those things aren't always held up when we see the pictures of the Black Panthers. But we need to learn a new way to be with one another as a part of the work we do to uplift humanity. So she was integrating this as well. Next slide, please. So I wanted to show you the crystal singing bowl, and I wanted to talk a little bit about my journey here. I'm a former not former. I'm still working in the movement, but I'm doing it differently. Um, and I worked on anti-police brutality issues here in Long Beach, and before Black Lives Matter, and got a little bit burnt out, and a few different times, and found that I needed to um, find a place of balance in my life. And I found the Earth Lodge Center for Transformation, um, where the mind, body, and spirit are all centered, um, and our relationship to plants is foregrounded as well in us discovering and learning about our own balance and well-being. Um, and one of the first times that I actually saw the my teacher and founder of the Earth Lodge, Queen Howlands, use the crystal singing bowl was on the beach. And um, you can go to the next slide. We um, we were on the beach and we were at the ocean and we were having ceremony, and she played the singing bowl, and it helped um, rejuvenate us. We could it was actually dancing with the ocean. And I wanted to show a picture of the singing bowl, the because it's made of quartz, and quartz is a crystal, and it has a relationship. Um, it felt like it had a relationship that day with the ocean, and all of the power and magnetism and ions of the ocean, and it had an extreme calming effect. Next slide. So yeah, so they're made out of quartz. They can be programmed to create specific sounds. Um, and our bodies have a natural affinity to the quartz. And so, on a molecular level, our cells contain um, silica, which balances our electromagnetic energies. And and so the crystal um, magnifies and transmits pure tone to these energies for balancing. Next slide. So that every cell in our body, um, uh, which has a crystalline shape, it helps the body resonate with those frequencies. And because the crystal bowls have the ability to align um, with our chakras, they're used um, effectively to produce pure sound and for meditation. And chakras, if you're not familiar, are energy systems throughout our body, from our groin to the tops of our heads, and they're energy systems um, that are that regulate our our emotions, our just everything about our way of being. Next slide. This is a picture of the chakras. I'm going to play the note C, and as you can see that the the note, uh, the C note, is the root chakra, and that chakra is our grounding chakra. If you need to feel secure and safe, that is the chakra, and you can see that's the chakra that you go to. And I chose that purposefully because we lost a sense of safety and security um, this year, having to deal with all the multiple things that we've been dealing with. And so I thought that the grounding chakra um, and would be the most effective. And you can see the different chakras as they are aligned with the different parts of the body, um, the different colors, and the notes. And so that you can get a crystal bowl um, in the note of D, E, F, um, whatever note that you or chakra center that you want to work on. Next slide. And so, because we're low on time, I'll talk about the benefits of the singing bowl. It relaxes your mind, it reduces stress, physical pain, improves mental, emotional clarity, improves immune system, and it also helps you sleep. Um, and so, I'm going to play the singing bowl for you. Um, are there any questions that anyone has? I know that I had a little bit of information. I wanted to, I was going to just play it, but I said, I don't want to assume what people know. So let me know if this was helpful, if it's helpful, if it's too much. How are you feeling right now? I want to do a check in. Very helpful. Thank you, Andy. Where did you get your singing bowl from? You can order them from off the web. They're between $30 and up. I think it's important to know why. Thank you, Roberta. Should I keep sharing the screen? Yes, you can go to the next slide. I know about singing bowls, but I never knew about the benefits. Okay, good. So right now it's 6:30. I want to move us into the healing part of this where I play it. and you just receive. And my intention is to play for about um, 12 minutes. And what I'd like you to do is, if you have something to write with or something, paper and a pen or your journal, that's great. If you don't, no problem. I would love for you to set an intention going into this healing. Um, Set an intention for yourself. And what do I mean? Maybe you want to come out of this feeling differently. I would like to release some of the tensions from my day, would be an intention. Um, or maybe you had a hard time, a hard conversation with someone, um, and that feels icky. I would like to forgive myself. Um, or maybe you don't have. Maybe it's just I just need my mind to rest. And so I'd like to offer this. And are there any questions before I begin? And remember, this is the middle. I'll be playing the middle note C, which um, should affect, open up, inspire, activate your root chakra, which is in your groin area, your pelvis. And and that root chakra again is associated with abundance, safety, feeling of safety, security, groundedness, power, deservingness. Um, and that is this is an affirmation slide that I put up that goes with it if you needed that assistance. And so I'll begin to play. Okay. Mm, take a deep breath wherever you are. Come back to us slowly and center yourselves. One of the things that I wanted to share about the um, singing bowl and offering this medicine is that I get a chance to benefit from it as well. And um, I am going to ask you um, if you noted anything during your experience um, in feeling and hearing the vibrations from the singing bowl. If there was any kind of change, any emotion that came up, any interesting thoughts that you feel comfortable sharing. You can unmute yourself or type it in the chat. I know for me, oh, okay, Andy says, it helped me detach from some negative feelings that had come from dealing with bozos today. Good, good. Yeah, one of the words that is associated with the crystal singing bowls is cleansing. That that quartz that I showed you, the picture of that quartz, it helps to cleanse a lot of the negative energies. If you're familiar with a lot of the stones um, or healing stones, that's what quartz does. Um, it cleanses. And so if you're walking around with a lot of negativity, um, you play this and you immediately feel like me right now. Like it feels like all of my body, like everything just slowed down. In anticipation of getting ready for this, I was, my nervous system's going. I'm like, okay, do I have this ready to? But I don't feel any of that right now. And the negativity, yeah, to detach, that's a great word, detachment. Because sometimes we can get fixated on people or things that they said, and in the end, when we're able to detach, to detach without judgment toward ourselves or toward the other person, um, then that gives us space, that gives us a sense of relief, and we can move through our day, we can move through our thoughts even about that person in a more positive way, um, or maybe just come back, when we had a fresher mind. So I'm glad that happened for you, Andy. Roberta says, I felt like it was surrounding me like an envelope. I felt safe. Oh, wow. Well, that means that I did my job. Yeah, that's how you're supposed to feel. That root chakra, that energy system that's right in your groin area, your between your hips and under in that pelvic area. Um, that's that's where we're supposed to. That's when that's activated. We feel um, like we can do anything. And feeling safe is a big concept right now in this particular world, on so many different fronts. Feeling safe, um, feeling surrounded, even like an envelope that's comforting, you know, with so much uncertainty. Some of us are afraid of um, losing jobs or housing or even loved ones. And with the pandemic, we're trying to do the things that we need to do, and so feeling safe is so important. Thank you for sharing that, Roberta. I felt goosebumps from time to time. I noticed feelings of irritation toward my housemates, and I tried letting go. hmm Goosebumps is a huge indicator that, um, well, just from a spiritual sense, that there's some that you're connected. You're connecting, to um, something bigger than what's in our brains. And what our minds are telling us. But we're allowing, our when we feel those goosebumps, it's like our body, because our body doesn't lie, right? Our body tells the truth, and sometimes it has a mind of its own. And so, if you felt something, then something was resonating, because this is about shifting and moving things, um, getting them open, or releasing them. And the feelings of irritation, the emotions that might come up during the singing bowl, they may be negative emotions, um, and what's important about that is that if they did come up, they came up to come out, right? And I try letting go, and that's the important thing, is to let go. And so, because when we talk about wellness, a lot of times we have so many things, that we repress, that we're holding on to. Sometimes we don't even know, and yeah, sometimes it does come out in irritation and anger. Uh, you know, I'm doing a wellness seminar this Saturday on grief, and what grief looks like. And grief looks like everything. It looks like so many different things. It's not just weeping and crying. It can be irritation, mood swings, aches in the body. And so the important things is to do the things that we need to do so that we don't hold on to those things. Thank you, Midori. I unfortunately can't stay until the end, but it was relaxing and felt like being surrounded by ripples. Thank you so much. You're welcome. You're welcome. You're more than welcome. And I just want you to know that you all can do this for yourselves. They have on YouTube. Um, you can listen. If you're not able to make any purchases, you can listen to sound healing. Um, there are different frequencies that are, you know, um, helpful for deep relaxation, different frequencies for meditation, frequencies for happiness, frequencies for forgiveness. Um, this is not new medicine. I wanted to share that. That the sound technologies, the sound healing art, if we think of our indigenous uh, ancestors, they have the flute and rattles, to activate different parts of, you know, uh, either in ceremony, but also to create different vibrations, to speak to, you know, spirits. Africans have drums, you know. We there's a didgeridoo. Didgeridoo, is that how you say it? So these technologies aren't new technologies. They're they're old, and it's important that you know, we integrate them into our daily practices. But I'm going to tell you the great thing about this crystal singing bowl is that I can come home, and if I've had a difficult day, anytime, and use it, you know, and it has an immediate effect, immediate calming effect, and the deep sleep that I mentioned earlier is also a part of it too, especially as we talk about these compromised immune systems. Because I believe that sleep and the having a healthy immune system is really important. Um, is there another slide, Andy? This last slide is, can someone identify who that is? Are you able to see who that is? You can either unmute or type it in the chat if you know who it is. Very famous person, well-known person, I should say. Civil rights activist. You might not notice her in this particular photo, but this is Rosa Parks. Yeah, it's Rosa Parks. And Rosa Parks is she's doing yoga. She found later on in her life that she was having stress related health problems, and she started practicing yoga. And I wanted to, offer that because I know that as a way of saying that to thank you for integrating um, wellness, into the movement, that we normalize it, make it a constant practice. I'm willing to come whenever to offer the sound healing to you, but that in order for our communities to be well, we have to be well. And I wanted to show her outside of the bus. If people aren't familiar who Rosa Parks is, she was an organizer, a strategist, and she was known for not giving up her seat on the, the bus in Alabama. Last slide, please. Yeah, so let's not wait to take care of ourselves. I heard this life matters today, and I wanted to add that. Um, we hear Black Lives Matter all the time, and that's a mantra. It's become a mantra. But this life matters right now, and thank you. Um, any quick questions? I know you have to end at 7.
I have a question. It's Roberta. Sorry. Can you just, sorry, I should actually stop my, I was wondering how does it work? The bowl?
Yeah, I was actually, yeah. So this is the crystal singing bowl, and I have a little, sorry, I have to makeshift setup. So this is a mallet. What I was doing.
Oh, I see. It's beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much, everyone. I'll type the Earth Lodge Center for transformation into the chat. We are having wellness weekends for the next month. And so we have, folks doing acupec- acupressure, um, and all kinds of good stuff. Uh, body mapping, trauma, and this is to just get us through the holidays and all the other stuff that we're navigating. And the series, our wellness series that I wanted to invite you to, our Saturdays and Sundays from 2 to 4. But you can feel free to go to our website that I left there and register. And I will also be attending some of yours. And I want to thank Cat 911 for the incredible work that you've been doing, and I support it, and I'm so happy to be a part of the solution. Thank you so much, Andrea, for inviting me to share with you.
Thank you so much for joining, and thank everyone else. And come to our next wellness webinar, and you'll see our January, February schedule will be coming out soon in our newsletter. And we'll also be able sure to share the Earth Lodge schedule as well in the next newsletter.
Absolutely. Thank you, everyone. Peace.
Thank you. Have a great evening.
Thank you.